Hey guys, I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Marcella.
And we just finished watching The 100, Season 5, Episode 2, and we need to talk all about Red Queen because...
Yes!
Oh my gosh,
so much to talk about.
The ending of that episode.
The ending of that episode with Kane, like, jeez.
Damn. Alright, so... there is so much to go through with this episode. Like, okay, I loved this like transition of Octavia. Like this development throughout the whole episode is like, I like how in the beginning she's more of like a fair, level-headed leader where she's more like, not like timid.
She doesn't even, because she doesn't want to be a leader. She even says that I'm not a leader. I'm a warrior, I'm a fighter, but I don't lead. Because Octavia has never really led in that way. She's kind of been like with the Grounders and then with obviously like Bellamy and Clark and all of her people, but it's always been Bellamy and Clark leading in that sense, and
basically everything goes to shit when they're not there leading. Like,
yeah, so Octavia's just been more of like a warrior in that way, and yeah, this was a role that she really needed to figure out how to. She had to figure out how to do that. Yeah, how to be a leader down there in that environment and under those circumstances. Exactly,
and I really love the way that they showed that, and what a contrast the beginning of the episode is to like the ending. And I really like that. You know how it's always like symbolic when in, like, for example, in the first episode in the premiere, we got Clark being like going in the water and then coming out, and now she's more of a confident person, and we had Octavia who basically gets covered in blood, and that's like her like transition in like a cleansing matter, you know, like she is immersed in the blood of her enemies,
and she keeps it, and she doesn't even wash it off. She keeps that blood on her when she goes out to talk to everybody. Yeah,
that, I think that scene though was my favorite of the entire episode. I love that scene when she's like continuously saying, "You are one crew," or "You are the enemy of one crew."
Oh yeah, when she's taking down everybody.
That repetition really emphasizes the power of those words and how important they are to her message down there. Like, that is like her motto. Like, you are either with us or you're against us, and we're one people. Like, we are not separated. We're not all these different clans. We're one people, and if you don't like that, then you're the enemy, and this is what's gonna happen to you. Basically, and that's really what she needed to do to get everybody to listen to her, because people weren't listening to her, and that's why all hell broke loose. That's exactly what happened. It was just this continuation of nobody listening. You know, it started very simple in the beginning of people stealing blankets, and then it escalated to... And I love how, stealing blankets. I love how her response to that was just like, we'll give them back. Yeah. Like something so simple, like, not really like there's no punishment for that, just give them back. It's simple. Yeah. And then at the end, it was like, nope, this is what you do now when you betray Wonkru. Yeah, and I like that she got the, like, we have to remember, these Grounders, they have always had this animosity and this hatred towards Sky Crew. So it was really interesting to see them have to have that respect for Octavia. And the way that she gets that respect is through violence, which is what they know. That's like all they know, really, is violence, and blood must have blood. And I love that we got that line thrown in there, because that has always been the Grounders' motto: blood must have blood. And I like how she said, she's like, there's no more blood must have blood down here. Like, there's no more Sky Crew. Like, we are one crew, and that's it. And it was just so powerful the way that whole thing was done. Just to see Octavia, who, remember in season 1, she's like chasing butterflies, and I know, and now she is a queen. Like, they call her Blood Reina. She is in charge, and I love that she had obviously she had like the Lexas, like the Hedda thing, like the for the commander, and then she ended up, she took it off. She's like, I should have did this. I should have done this already, and takes it off, because that's not her. That's not her. And yeah, she had to really learn how to be her own leader. And she's freaking terrifying though. Like, she's lost it. But yeah, oh my gosh, this episode really, she was really awesome in this episode. She was so awesome. I think she's such a fantastic character, Octavia. I love her development, and I know Marie said it, but she really has had the most, I think, character development on the show. Definitely. Like, everybody has, obviously, but Octavia's is so, like, jarring, I think. From the beginning to, like, she was the girl under the floor. and this is what she has become.
Even if you look at just like a picture of her, like it's just so different. And yeah, I think she's definitely had the most
at least one of
the most obvious, I feel like, because if you look at all these characters on the 100, you could always see a change and a progression in their development through the seasons. But Octavia's is definitely the most blatantly, like, you could just see it, like, right there.
Exactly. And oh gosh, I absolutely loved her conversations with Jaha. That was a conversation that we have been waiting for since like season 1. And like, it was just,
what a crazy surprise that at least we thought that Jaha was gonna go down like fighting. And we thought that Octavia was gonna end up having to kill him or something.
We thought she was gonna kill him to kind of show people like the brutality, and it was gonna be
like it was gonna be kind of like this thing where she kills him and is kind of uses like, that as a way of being like, I'm not messing around. But I like how his death it was a really, really great death for Jaha. It was. Expect that.
I didn't expect that either. So it was his liver, it seemed like, and it was like bile and blood, and you know, originally, like, oh my god, the scenes with the little boy Ethan,
right there, it was like he's definitely going down, dying. Especially when he mentioned Wells the first time. It was like, oh my gosh, like Wells doesn't really get mentioned that often, so it's like, he's going down, it's gonna happen. But I like how he kind of went out as a hero. He ended up, you know, helping Octavia and really showing, like, kind of like steering her towards what she needed to do really to keep the peace.
Yeah, exactly. And that conversation that he has with her about floating her mother, and how, you know, death has always been like their enemy, and they eliminate whatever brings them close to death. Yeah, like that whole big speech that he gives about death, and the way that he justifies the arc is so interesting to me, because one of our favorite things about this show is how gray it is. Like, there are so many different elements and layers of this show, and I love that our enemies are never really our enemies, because they're obviously they're our enemies, but they're understandable in that way.
But the way that you look at it, anybody on this show could be an enemy, you know? True. Like, there's no good guys.
Exactly.
But yeah, I love when he was saying that, because he was explaining to her that they had to look at death as the enemy, and if somebody pushed them closer to death, that was when they would kill that person, they would float them. And yeah, Octavia just really needed to get into that mindset of like, if this person pushes them too much, she needed to have a have because in the beginning she really didn't have any form of punishment at all. There was no rules.
There was no organization in that way. Yeah.
I mean, could she have done it a little better? I mean, it's gladiator fight, so it's crazy, but
it's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, obviously, like, I get why Sasha kept saying the bunker is terrifying, because it is terrifying. Like, I would like, that is not a place that you want to end up. But I think as an audience, like, as a viewer, it's really fucking cool. Like,
oh yeah, especially to see like Bellamy and gang up in space, and they're just like kind of chilling, like eating algae, and then you have Clark, who, like, obviously she had some trouble, but her and Maddie were living pretty good in Eden until the Allegiance people came. But like, the bunker, like, that's where you don't want to be.
And it's just so violent and brutal, the bunker. And I like the callback to like the gladiator stuff, because it's kind of like
the book that Bellamy
like, it's such a, like, the gladiators, that's like what they did in Rome and the Colosseum and stuff. And I think it's so interesting how history is repeating itself in some way in that sense. And I mean, Kane is in there. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I love the transition though. At the end, you see the floor has no blood on it, whatever. It's like clean because this had just begun. And then when it transitions to 6 years later, the floor is covered in blood. There's cages like set up. Octavia's on that throne, and you could just see like how this has been going on for 6 years, and
that's such a long time.
And it's like, people enjoy it. Like, people were cheering, people were into it. It was almost like it was fun for them.
Yeah,
because
they have a sport.
It was like a sport, because they've been down there for 6 years with nothing to do, and this is something that they just do.
It just reminds me of like the Romans. It really does. Like, that's just a form of entertainment for them, you know. And like we said, the Grounders are people who have been in wars. These are people who grew up in violent places, you know. And I think it's just it's like, it's freaking awesome though. Like, I think it's so cool because I can't wait to see Bellamy's reaction to this.
I know, I can't
wait Bellamy and Clark's reaction to what the hell Octavia's been doing. No,
I feel like everybody, when they like realize what has been going on, they're just gonna be like, okay, like,
okay.
Oh god.
It's gonna be very interesting how these people are gonna be brought into, like, when they see the sun eventually, and when they get out of the bunker, what are they gonna be like?
That's gonna be so interesting. It's also going to be interesting on how, because these are Octavia's people.
She's been training an army, honestly.
Yes, exactly. They've all been fighting down there, which is actually really good.
Yeah,
when they go up against the
they're
people.
pretty.
Yeah, exactly. But she's been leading these people for 6 years, and now when everybody gets reunited and all of that, and they get out of the bunker, who's going to lead everybody? Like, are they all going to be, because I feel like there's going to be separations, because Octavia's people aren't going to get out of the bunker, and like Octavia's not going to like
automatically look to
and
Bellamy
everybody's
and Clark,
just going to be like, okay, well now Bellamy and Clark are in charge again. Like,
no,
that's not going to happen.
Clark and Bellamy have not been there. Octavia is their leader now.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting to see that transition and what is going to happen with that. And okay, oh my gosh, I loved Miller and Jackson. It made me really happy tonight, even though like there was like, they had like kiss at the end, which was really nice. I always love their scenes. I really love Jackson's scenes. We had a lot of Jackson this episode with Abby.
We did. And he tried to get the gun.
He tried.
He really did. And he even told Miller that. Miller's like, it's okay. You're not like that. It's fine.
I know. Like, you're so cute. Cabby had a lot of angst.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the scene in the beginning. The scene in the beginning, how Abby heard Clark. Oh my god, that was like, not okay. That was so sad.
That was so sad. And then we see Clark, like, that was during that, it's so funny now, like thinking back to last episode, that was what was happening down in the bunker when Clark was trying to dig them out.
I know. It was really sad. And then you notice how Kane says to Abby that he hasn't spoken to her in a month. I think
so their relationship is not good, and
rocky,
Abby's taking pills, and it's just, it's not good.
I wonder how she's doing now, though, 6 years later. But at that time, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. No. I did like that scene though when they were handcuffed together and they had that conversation. Oh my gosh! Oh my god! Can we please get a parallel of Bellarke having something similar of that? Like, what line was it that I want? It was like, I couldn't lose you, or something like that. I just need that.
Beautiful line.
You kind of understood where they were coming from. Like, there was just so much angst between Kane and Abby, and I'm really curious about where the relationship is 6 years later. And
I hope it's better.
What the hell is Kane doing in the Gladiators pit? Like,
well, you know that he must have done something to get down there, so
I'm sure we're gonna find out
something really bad. I don't know what he would have done though, because Kane's not really like that. He's not one to like break the rules, so I'm really interested in finding out how he got into that situation.
Yeah, I feel like there's like 3 big scenes that really sticked out to me this episode, and first one was obviously the scene with the whole Wong crew, the enemy of Wong crew, like that whole scene, which was my favorite. And then the scene at the end with when she makes that whole big speech, that was awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then the most heartbreaking scene was Jaha's death.
Jaha's death, yeah.
That really, like the whole "May we meet again."
And the last word that he says is Wells. Like,
and he's like, "Take me to Wells." He's like,
oh my gosh! And then he tells Octavia to look after Ethan, and then we see Ethan as older, and we see him watching the fights. So this is a little boy who grew up with this brutality, and now I wonder how we're gonna see a child now when he leaves the bunker and he's gonna be on the ground, how he's gonna deal with that, because he's used to this environment and he doesn't know anything really that different, because he was really young. I think, what was he like? How old do you think he was?
7,
like 6 or 7 or something. Like, he looked really young,
really little,
in the beginning. So now he's only 6 years older, so we're not good at math.
How old is he now? So like, let's say he was like 8.
So he's probably like, what, like 12 now, like 11. I see, he looks like he's about 11.
Oh, can we ship him with Maddie?
I think Maddie looks a little older than him.
So is she? I don't know. It was dark. We didn't get good.
Octavia's still gonna probably be looking after him. So we're gonna have Octavia looking after this little boy, Clark looking after Maddie, this little girl, and I wonder if they're gonna relate in that way.
I'm shipping the kids. It's very interesting, these two different environments that these kids grew up in, with, you know, Clark being like a mother figure, and I guess Octavia was kind of a mother figure as well, yeah, which we didn't expect.
Like, Maddie grew up in Eden with Clark, and kind of like having like almost a normal-ish, obviously not normal like in our standards, but not a very bad upbringing Clark gave Maddie, I would say, like a child, like when, because she met her around the same age, so she kind of had like she had a better childhood than this little boy Ethan, who's been growing up watching gladiator fights. So
it's a contrasting way of parenting. Like,
it really is. Yeah.
So I'm curious about what's gonna happen with that little boy, and what more of the
they're gonna probably meet each other.
Oh, and then obviously Indra. I love all the scenes that Indra was there for Octavia, and it looked like she was still there with her at the end. Like, next to Octavia,
but she's watching her, and it's very like
scared, probably, She had Indra that was there with her. Miller was with her.
Yes, Miller was right next to her, right?
Yeah, we had Guy, and then we had Ethan. Those were like her people, like on the top. So I'm wondering, like, now that that's fenced in, like they have like I don't know. It's, oh my god, I'm so excited to see more of what I'm more excited to see like the repercussions of the bunker and what these people are gonna be like once they get out of the bunker.
Exactly, and what everybody's gonna think of them, and yeah, I'm so excited.
Again, you know, Octavia has been raising an army without even realizing it. Like,
which, you know what, we're gonna need Octavia's army, so it's a good thing she did all this stuff in the bunker.
I guess so, right? In the end, it kind of...
I mean, it definitely affected her psychologically, but that army's gonna come in handy.
Yeah, for sure, I guess so. Now the scenes are next week, guys!
We're so excited
oh my god.
for next week. It looks like 2 people are gonna have to stay behind now, so this is gonna be crazy to see who stays behind.
I'm just here for Clark, honestly. Oh my god.
We're getting closer and closer to them meeting up, and I don't even know.
I don't even know.
I'm just so excited.
The transition in that trailer, though, of like Clark like on the ground of the belly, like, I gotta get down there, like, oh my god, like, shut up. I'm so ready for the reunion.
So here for it.
It's coming, and I am so...
coming soon.
Let us know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. We will be going live on Friday this week with Ellen Reactions to talk about Red Queen and what we think is going to be happening on the show.
And of course we're going to talk about
Blark.
And what we think is going to happen with Blark.
Yeah, so definitely tune in for that. We had so much fun with them, having our Blark therapy session that you can watch, that we still have.
It's really long though. It's like 3.5 hours, so watch at your own risk.
Yeah, but definitely join us on Friday, and you guys can have some questions ready from things from the show that you want to talk about with us, and we would love to discuss them because there's so much to talk about with us, obviously.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed this review, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more reviews for the 100, and of course, you can check out our reaction video.
You can also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat. We are at City of the Field.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Bye!